Australia is the sixth biggest country in the world in terms of the land size. So let's start about Australia. So Australia is basically has nine major cities if we discuss, and it includes Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and Darwin, Perth, Hobart, Adelaide, and Gold Coast, and so on. Hello everyone, welcome back to Podcast Australia. This is one of our daily day-to-day topics we discuss just for the quick chats with you guys. And if you haven't subscribed our channel, please go and subscribe Podcast Australia so you can get daily videos on that. So today's is our topic is more about Australian population, size of Australia, and the weather in Australia. So we go for very high level, and in future we'll definitely discuss about every city and their populations, and we go more in detail about the weather and other things as well. So let's start about Australia. So Australia is basically has nine major cities if we discuss, and it includes Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and Darwin, Perth, Hobart, Adelaide, and Gold Coast, and so on. So, and if you talk about the plane flights, if we catch a plane flight from Sydney, or like if I give an example from Perth, Sydney to Perth, it takes at least 4 hours. So you can imagine like how big is the land size in Australia in general. Australia is the sixth biggest country in the world in terms of the land size, and Australia's land size actually, if I give an example, if I compare with any other country in the world, say India. So India and land size is similar to Australia, but the population in India is 1 billion and Australia is less than 30 million. And if you talk about two-third or at least 66% of Australian population, it's mainly living in urban cities, as we discussed, it's more like Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and Perth. So an Australian population is below 30 million, but two cities have population of over 5 million, and which is Melbourne and Sydney, of course. And Adelaide has a population, if I say, over 1 million. Northern Territory is bigger than size in New South Wales, which is one of the state in Australia, and on Northern Territory land size is more than the land size of altogether if you compare Texas and California, but the population is only less than 300,000 people. So the capital city of Australia, if we talk here, is Canberra, and Canberra has a population of 500,000 at this stage, and therefore Canberra population is more than the whole of Northern Territory if you discuss about the size of both of the places. Even every main city in Australia such as Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney have weather seasons except of Darwin, which is located in Northern Territory and is close to Indonesia, where Darwin is always summer throughout the year, and it's around 30 degrees in Darwin weather throughout the year minimum. So majority city Australian population lives in east coast of Australia compared to the west coast. In most big cities in Australia, June and July are the coldest month of the years, and December and January are the hottest months of the years in Australia. And if you talk more about north of Australia, it's more hot, of course, than the south of Australia is more colder. And it's generally doesn't snow in most part of Australia, but like in June and July, as I discussed, it's a bit colder. So you can see the weather, you can go for, if you're really fan of snowing and all that, you can definitely go to Jindabyne, which is 2 to 3 hours drive from Canberra, where is the snow, and you can enjoy the snow in there. If we talk about North Queensland and Brisbane, it's more humid in that areas of Australia, in those cities, and it's more hotter than of course than Melbourne, if you compare it to Melbourne. Brisbane and Sydney and Perth have more average weather in as compared to temperature wise, as compared to Brisbane and Melbourne. And and a lot of people, that's the reason, are like to stay in those cities. And the population, the reason behind all this as well, if you know, in my conversation, the reasons behind all that is because of the population is more in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. It's one of the reasons, the weather. And Sydney weather is very nice and very pleasant as compared to other cities in Australia. And it's more like if we discuss in the way of immigration and migrants coming to Australia, they more prefer to coming to those cities because they're more facilitated as well, and as compared to the facilities and affordability. If you discuss about Melbourne houses, they're more affordable, so people like to go there and buy houses there. Rent are more cheaper in Melbourne, but they in Sydney you can find all type of other facilities as well. The houses a bit prices, the rents are a bit higher than Melbourne, but you can see the transport system is really good in Sydney, and the train systems are very good. The bus transport systems are really good in Sydney. Schools are very good in all these three cities, especially Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Canberra. The school systems are really good, and like if you the public schools are very very good in those cities. So people moving with children, they actually look for the schools as well. So you can definitely search for the schools in that area. But in our coming podcast, we will definitely discuss about different schools in Australia and what is the school, how the education system works in here. We'll go more in detail for every state. So currently, in Australia, we have very good education system. And for other things, like if we get back to weather again, and weather is more, if we discuss about the weather in Canberra, as I told you, it's a bit colder. So if you planning to travel to Canberra, especially in cold days in June, July, May, June, July, this season, please get something warmer for yourself. Like you can buy some sort of thermals for yourself, and some like backpack jackets, puffers, and things like that, to keep warm yourself and your children as well if you're traveling. If you're an international student and you have no idea about where to get things, so you definitely in future times we'll definitely make some more of the videos related to accommodations in those cities for international students as well. And if you're looking for rental market in those areas, so we'll definitely go deep down into that path as well. And so yeah, so today's most of our topic is about weather and population in Australia. And if want me to talk more about those topics, for more knowledgeable topics, please comment in the comment section, and let us know about your opinions, how you liking the videos, or if there is any changes we can make into our videos, or if there any other exciting topics you want me to discuss. I can definitely bring it back into our day-to-day talks, and get providing all those information, very general information, for high level information, just in case, for related to anyone who is planning to move to Australia, or living in Australia, or planning from moving from one city to different city in Australia. So don't forget to subscribe our channel Podcast Australia for very day to day update in 2026. And see you guys tomorrow with new topics, new exciting updates. Thank you so much.